Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome to the CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, we would like to tell you all that in today's session, we would be talking on emerging trends in journalism in digital era. What are those trends which are upcoming? What are those trends which we would say in the digital era have brought the new avenues? Dear friends, we would like to tell you all that for this very discussion, we have once again with us in our studios, Professor Devesh Kishore. Professor Devesh Kishore is a Professor Emeritus, Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism and Mass Communication. He is formerly Director of Electronic Media Production Center, IGNOU. So let's welcome our guest, Professor Devesh Kishore, and let's try to grab maximum knowledge through him on the topic emerging trends in journalism in digital era. So let's welcome Professor Devesh Kishore. Hello sir, welcome to today's lecture.
Thank you very much. Well, today our discussion will be based on the emerging trends in journalism, keeping in view the digital era. Digital era, I hope all of you understand, that is related with the social media, where we have various types of social media available for communication, and also they are available to the readers. Those who are going to read newspapers or listen to the radio news, view the television, they all get information from these sources. Now the social media, when it has come on the stage and start playing the role, and where all of us have an opportunity to write, express our views, and sometime also give the information which will be of general interest to the people. While all other media which were there earlier, whether it was a newspaper, radio, television, we as a general member of public or society have no right to straight away express our views, because they are all controlled by the channels or the editors, owners, and then the whole process goes on and then it will start. I will start my presentation with the first slide, PPT, in which I would like to show you the statement made by a famous communication expert in the digital era, and this says, this PPT, when you will see, you will be able to know we as a journalist, we are the basic observers of the phenomena whatever is happening in the society. And then after we observe the phenomena, then the other important thing is that we go to the different places where our audience cannot go. Number two, dig where our audiences cannot dig. Dig means the information which can be taken out by the journalist, which may not be possible to take out by the readers or by the audience. And third thing is study and interpret what our audiences do not have time to study and analyze. Now these are the statements which have been given by Charles Beckett, who is a founder, member of the London School of Communication, and also has submitted a thesis on this topic in the Oxford University. The idea is that nowadays journalists have another window available for getting the information, and that information is available from the social media. And as all of us know, social media has various varieties which are available, like we have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have other channels available, and then the people who express their views in these channels and write about the phenomena or events which are taking place, the journalists also read that, and then if they find that particular news is interesting, useful to the society, then they pick up the thread from there, and from their sources they collect the detailed information and perhaps make a news story which could be useful to the members of the society. So that is what is very important thing which we have to understand in this present era of digital era, where the social media is taking place a very important position in informing people. And other thing which is very important has to be remembered, that any member of the society has free expression power, can write, can comment, can criticize, and all will go either on his Facebook or on Twitter, whatever he is want to use it, and others can read it. There can be number of followers who will do it. Now you see the transparency and the next PPT where this point has been taken care of. I think this PPT will be shown to you just now. I request to put this PPT on the screen. Second PPT, which is related to the statement made by the famous Charlie Beckett. This is the statement I was discussing. This is for your benefit. You can read it again and see it, that what is the important thing there. Second thing which I was talking of, the impact of new media. Now this new media, as I was mentioning, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, now these are the various modes through which the information is given. This program is also available on YouTube. Now you will find that many people are using YouTube, Twitter, Facebook for getting the information, and the gadgets which are available to the people are smartphones, tablets, and so many other new gadgets are coming up through which the readers can get the information very conveniently, very easily. Now this has brought change in the whole journalism profession. Change in the sense that the news is already available on your phone, on your tablet, on your desktop, before it is picked up by some other channels and its details are shown. Sometime no news channel picks up that comment or that news, but you are able to read it, which has been filed by another person, and that changes the audience behavior. Now this has created era of active citizen. What is active citizen and how it has been created? You may have heard of Writers Institute for the Study of Journalism in Oxford, which one of the leading institute doing research in the area of journalism. That institute first time brought that the era of active citizen has started. Now, era of active citizen means that citizens himself have become so active that they are giving the information to the journalist through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc., etc. And the Writers Institute has found out in their, and they have mentioned in digital news report, that face is becoming the more important and dominant all over the world. About 41% of the people are using Facebook and putting the information whatever they feel like for the information of the people. Now, that is the important thing. In India also, Face has become very popular. In addition, Twitter, even our Prime Minister writes are mentioned on Twitters. Our all leading personalities, even scientists, they are also putting the information on Twitter. So, Twitter has become a very important source of information, and if you are following Twitter, you will be able to get first information. Then the newspaper may also pick up that thread from the Twitter and then write this story. The idea is that social media is becoming more and more important because members of the society or citizens in the country are using it more often, and they find a place where they can express. So therefore, these social media are playing an active, important role in bringing the change in the journalism profession. Now, this will change the future of journalism. The journalism, traditional journalism now we call it, radio, newspaper and television have become a traditional. We have been using it, these media, these channels since long. Now social media has come now. Now the social media has brought significant change in the future of journalism. If future of journalism has to be understood, then we must know that these gadgets and gizmos have brought lot of changes. People have in their hand telephones, people have with them tablets, notebooks, laptops, and they are easily available to them. They can go to Facebook or Twitter and they can get in advance the views of the people, their comments, their criticism, and maybe sometime predictions. Because other gadgets like newspaper, radio and television, they will take time to take that story. And the other important thing with them is to verify the story and then get more details so that the story is complete. Now the other important thing which has to be seen, that the social media are becoming very close to the audience. As I said, the availability is very fast for the audience. Therefore, all the social media are becoming closer in the sense of availability. Second, that whatever they feel at that moment of time, they can express themselves right on that and can place it on the social media so that everybody can read and see about it. So the public has more instant access to the media, while traditional media, which I am saying newspaper, radio and television, they don't have fast access, instant access, because the process involved. If you are using newspaper, you will have to write the story, you will have to send it to the newspaper office desk. When it reaches, a reporter, a sub-editor will pick it up, verify the story, rewrite it, edit it, and then put in the newspaper, or may not put in the newspaper. Same thing happens with radio or television. But in case of social media, his story is immediately available to the people, and people can read it, understand it, or they can themselves analyze it, whether the story is true, whether the story is not true. All that has to be taken care of. Now, this social media which are being used by the journalist, I would call it network journalism. So what is network journalism? I think we must understand this term, because this is providing very good opportunities for the world of journalists. Every year, fewer journalists create more and more content, following the maximum of the management. Do more with less. As you know, if you are working in a traditional media, the owner of the traditional media has influence on your journalism activities. He has do's and don'ts, what you will write, what you will publish, how you will frame the story, all that is influenced. A newspaper owned by a group, a political party, or a religious group, they always influence that newspapers. Or even radio, owned by which group? Now that group has got its own interest. Even private TV channels, private radio sets, same thing is happening. So they are influenced by the owners or the ownership, and then the treatment of the story is accordingly changed, suiting to the philosophy of the owner of the channel. Journalism says no, it should not follow the guidelines which are dictated by the owners. A true journalism is where you put the true facts, story in the media. Now, if the owners influence, if there are parties which influence the story, then the story may not be correct, or the story may be biased, and then what you are giving through your newspaper, media, other media like radio and TV, then it may not be as truthful as it should be. We always say in journalism, journalists would write a truthful story, but truthful story is being influenced by the owners. But in social media, you can write your story, put it on Facebook, nobody can stop you. Or put it on Twitter, nobody stops you. If you have a criticism, you can put the criticism. Your liking, disliking, your whatever points you want to express, you can do that. There is nobody to check it. So the advantage is truthfulness from the side of the writer is maintained. Nobody is editing it, nobody is changing the words or sentences. Whatever you write it goes there. Now that creates, this new media has created impact on traditional media. Because if a story is put on a Facebook or on a Twitter, then the journalists cannot overlook it. They will have to see that a story is presented to their readers in a form in which they will understand it properly. Now that has become very important. So journalists are being forced by the Twitters and Facebook that they should examine those stories, and if they are of interest to the public, then they should rewrite it, get more facts, verified facts, write the full story and give it to their channel, whatever it may be. It means social media has created its own world, and we will put it as a network journalism. And this network journalism, let me define so that the students of journalism will be able to understand it more clearly. I put the word network journalism is journalists working with the participation of the public. In traditional media, journalists are not working with the participation of the public. What they are doing? They are themselves collecting the information, writing the story and putting it through their channel. But in this network journalism, public participation is there, because the public, the member of the public, they themselves put this story on the Facebook, on the Twitter, and therefore their participation is very active. So nowadays the terminology which is given when the citizens put their own news stories, and is called citizen journalism. So citizen journalism has been developed because of the social media. People are able to do it. Every citizen has right to do that, and therefore we call it citizen journalism. And then there are so many other forms of social media which are also being used, and therefore we call them that you can do social networking. So the journalism, network journalism, which is spread using different modes by citizen journalists, they are producing and they are distributing also the information. Means they write the story themselves, put it on themselves on the social media, and it gets automatically distributed to the public. So therefore public is able to read it. In case of traditional media, somebody will write the story, or a reporter file the story, sub-editor will sub-edit it, editor will go through it, and then that process it will be printed and published, and people will be able to read it. So there is a particular process which takes time before the readers get that particular information or news in the morning. Therefore, you can see in the traditional media, the production department takes care of the production of the news story, and distribution is in the hand of the circulation manager. He circulates it, he gives it to people who subscribe it, and he sees where it should go, that newspaper and all that. While in case of social media, production and distribution, both are controlled by the citizen journalist, and he can even dictate to whom he should go or whom he should not go. So if you differentiate between the digital journalism and traditional journalism, so the difference is recontextualizing role of the reporter. Now, citizen journalist is a reporter. He is writing the story. He is filing it. While in traditional media, the reporter is a person who is appointed, nominated or selected by the channel, and then he is paid for it, and he is trained person. While in citizen journalism or network journalism, the person who is writing the story or doing the work of a reporter neither is trained in journalism nor he is paid. Both things are missing. And therefore, the person who is writing the story, he may be more credible, his story may be more intelligible, and that story will have the lot of relevance, because the person who has written the story has no interest of either being paid for that story or he has been trained for that story itself. So, first and foremost important difference is in digital journalism and traditional journalism is that the reporters themselves, their reporter is trained, paid, write the story and file it in the process. Here in citizen journalist, he writes himself the story, files it in the media, and it goes there and distributed to the people. The expectation of the society is, members of the society is, why they read a Facebook or why they go through the Twitter, because they think they are getting the information from horse's mouth. That means the person who has written this story, he is the originator of this story, and nobody has touched his story, nobody has edited his story or changed his story. Nothing has been done. It has straight come from him, and you are, as a reader, you are able to read it and get the information. Therefore, the popularity of the Facebook, Twitters is all increasing day by day because of the interest involved of the person concerned. We will discuss digital journalism also. So, I would say digital journalism can be called as online journalism, because everything is being done on online. Text, video, audio, everything goes online. So, it is distributed through internet as opposed to publishing or a printing, broadcast. Here everything goes through the internet and is available to the people immediately as soon as the information is put by the citizen journalist. So, therefore, this is digital journalism, and the digital journalism is picking up very fast. It is creating impact on future of journalism, and that is why a fast trend is coming up where the social media are creating a great impact on the future of journalism. Thank you very much. Let's come to this slide on digital journalism, where we should be very clear what digital journalism is, because this is a new branch of journalism. It's different from traditional journalism. And digital journalism, the whole content is distributed through internet, and the people who are citizen journalists, they write online, and therefore whether they write as text, whether they put video, audio, or even interactive forms, discussions, panel discussions, group discussions, anything can be put online. And whatever is put online, that we call it digital journalism. He is using online and putting everything on online, and therefore we call it online journalism. There are some barriers to this entry, but there are certain advantages to digital journalism. First and foremost advantage of digital journalism is the low cost. Expenditure is not involved. Why? Because when you are using online, somebody is paying for it, but as a writer, you are getting it free, and you can express yourself freely. So the cost of production, writing the news, for the journalist, network journalist, is almost zero. He gets free. Suppose I write a story and put it on the Facebook, and a newspaper or print media journalist reads that story and collect the information. For him, the whole information available free of cost. He has not to send a reporter there. He has not to collect the information, and he just picks it up free of cost. So therefore, first thing is, this online journalism is available free of cost, number 1. Number 2, the cost of production is almost 0. Number 3 is the instant. You get the instant information. Through newspaper, it will take 1 day in processing and you will get it. Or even radio, TV will take some time. But here, instant, as soon as you put on YouTube or as soon as you put on Facebook, everybody gets it. So the flow of information is very fast, instant. And that's why digital journalism is picking up all over the world at a very fast speed. If you go to Western countries, in some of the Western countries where I have visited, I find many people are not purchasing newspapers. They said that what is the use of buying a newspaper? There are no more news. News we have already seen. Maybe on radio and TV we have listened to it. And earlier to that we got it on our laptop or on tablet. So the point is, the newspaper is not being subscribed, slowly vanishing away from the market. If people are buying newspaper, they are buying for different purposes, like for comments, like some for advertisements, or some specialized reportings. Otherwise, newspaper is not being subscribed. But in India, situation is different. In India, digital journalism, online journalism has not become so popular. Still, very few people have owned internet. Especially in rural areas, internet is not working properly. Neither people own it, nor it is working properly, service is not proper. Several factors to it. Therefore, newspaper industry in India is growing well. Newspapers are increasing in India, while newspapers are vanishing or going away from other countries, because the internet availability in those countries is very good. About 90% people get it. But the scenario in India is different. Therefore, still traditional media dominates in India. Situation has not come where social media has taken over the traditional media. It will take some time. But those who are using internet, for them, the traditional media is not playing that important role. So therefore, we find people who are using internet, through whatever gadgets, they are getting the information, news well in advance. Another important thing which has to be understood, that in social media or online, you will find the writers can create a greater degree of creativity. They can write the story as they like, they can treat it as they like, they can give the headings as per their interest, while it is not possible in traditional media. So the creativity aspect on the part of the reporter or writer of the story is greater, much greater than the traditional media. He can create different types of audio, he can create different types of video, whatever he wants, he can do it and then can put it without any cost. So the creativity gets more exposure through social media. While it is not possible because member of the public or citizen himself will not be able to do it, and the other people who are involved in the process, they may kill the creativity of the individual who is writing the story. So the creative control of the story is with the writer who writes and who files the story on Facebook, while creativity is controlled by the reporter or editor of traditional media. Here the person himself who is doing can control the creativity. I would like to give an argument of Mr. M.U. Lin, who says web and mobile platforms demand us to adopt a platform-free mindset for an all-inclusive production approach. Creates the digital content first, then distribute by appropriate forms. What he says, in case of social media, online journalism, the person who writes the story, means creates the story, develops the story, that person first he develops the content himself. And after developing the content, he also decides through which platform he should release it. He has several platforms available to him. He can do it either by Facebook, either Twitter, either by YouTube. There are several available to him, free of cost. He can do it. So therefore, this is another very interesting thing, that the citizen journalists have added advantage of controlling the production, adding to in production their creativity, and then finalizing their content and then releasing it for the or distributing through appropriate platform. He may decide I will release it through Facebook, or he may decide I may release it through Twitter. Sometimes leaders put their information through their Twitter because they think Twitter, I have followers, they will read my Twitter first, and they don't put the information on Facebook. So it is a choice which has to be decided. The digital journalistic work may range from purely editorial content like CNN, produced by professional journalists, online to public connectivity websites like Slashdot, communication lacking formal barriers of entry. The difference of journalism from traditional journalists may be reconceptualized as the role of the reporter in relation to audience and news organization. What we are trying to express here, that digital journalist, if you compare from the traditional journalists, then the digital journalism has advantage of getting the news, the information from the person who has created it, who has written to it, and then it can be used by a news organization. A study which was done in 2008, that study has indicated for the first time more Americans reported getting their national and international news from the internet. Very, very important finding. 8 years back, this finding, when it came, then the traditional media got alerted, because at that time traditional media thought that Americans are getting more news, whether it's national or international news, from the internet. They are not reading newspapers. Same thing is happening in the European country. Now this trend may come to our country also. As soon as the internet facilities are increased, nowadays we are observing every day there are announcements from the administrators that free Wi-Fi facility is being made available at common places like railway stations, bus stations, busy places, marketplaces. I think day is coming very fast, very soon, when the internet facilities at no cost will be available, or at very cheaper rate it will be available. If that is the case, then the users of internet will increase tremendously. Mobile phones have internet facilities, tablets have internet, and therefore because of these facilities they are using it more and more. And same thing will happen nowadays. I have been observing, especially in urban areas, whole newspaper is available on internet. All the news items are available. Then why should I buy a copy of newspaper? Should I buy it only for advertisements, in which I am not much interested? I get everything on my telephone. Whenever I get time, at leisurely hours, I can use my mobile phone and read the same thing, get the more information. Even the videos I will get it on the related to the news. So this 2008 finding, now in 2016, if you analyze, you will find this trend has increased a lot. People are using more and more internet. Another very interesting news, information, which came out of the survey and research, that people who are the young age, between the age of 8 and 28, they are primarily getting the news from internet. I think in India, somebody has still to do a research. But one of my students who has done the research, he found that about 20% of the people are getting news through internet, especially in urban areas. Therefore, its span, its area is increasing day by day. Now I can put it into 6 important points that digital journalism is found. Number 1, index and category sites. What does it mean, index and category sites? Sites which are without much original content, but may linked to the existing news sites. Now this is a new phenomena that you can do it. Second, you find the comment sites like media watchdogs. Number 3, share and discussion sites that facilitates the connection of the people like Slashdot. Fourth, blogs which are capable of fresh information ranging from personal sites to those with audiences of hundreds of thousands. Blogs are becoming very popular. Fifth, digital journalism is now involved in the cloud journalism phenomena, a constant flow of contents in the broadband society. Sixth is hyper local journalism. Like other types of digital journalism, is very convenient to the readers and offer more information formatized journalism. I have given you some examples that what is happening now in digital journalism. More and more newer areas are being opened. More and more newer methods are being opened. And therefore, we have to understand that with a great speed, online journalism is increasing day by day. And then there are various sites are available. If you are interested on comment sites, you can go to comment site. If you are interested in blogs for getting the fresh information, you can go to blogs. So there are a variety of social media or modes are available. Now let's analyze what is the impact on readers. What is the digital journalism allows for? Number 1, connection and discussions at levels that print does not offer on its own. Print media does not offer a discussion or connection on its own. Of course, you can write a letter to the editor. That's all. But here you can get involved in discussion, chatting, and have discussions. Number 2, people can comment on articles. Suppose I have written an article, put it on Facebook, and other people start commenting on it, their own views, agreeing, not agreeing, critical comments, suggestions, they start giving on this. Number 3, before the internet, a spontaneous discussion between readers who have never met was impossible. Number 4, the process of discussing a news item is a big portion of what makes it digital journalism. In other traditional journalism, it is not possible. The discussion is not possible, and in the process, informal process, which is available through internet of discussing the news item, is available, and that creates impact on the reader. 5th, people add to the story and connect with other people who want to discuss to the topic, which is not possible in traditional media. I think these are the 5 important points in terms of which the impact is being created on the readers through social media, through digital journalism, through citizen journalism, and the reader is getting various views, comments, facts, information even discussing with the writer, commenting on him is all possible in the social media itself. Otherwise, in traditional media, it is not possible at all. The other thing which has to be remembered, that digital journalism creates an opportunity for niche audiences, allowing people to have more options as to what to view and read. What does it mean? It means an opportunity is made available through digital journalism to the new writers, new audiences who have just become, start reading it, and gives them more options to view it, see it and read it. Second thing is, digital journalism opens up a new ways of storytelling. You see, if traditional media you are using, let's say print, electronic media, the headlines, the lead, the story, they have different formats which is prescribed. You have to have a headline, caption, then you will have a lead, then you will have a details of the story. Now that is the thing which is being followed in traditional media. But in case of digital journalism, you can follow any style. There is nothing dictated that you should follow this style, particular style of this. So digital journalism provides that types of opportunity or creativity to the people who writes this story for the social media. People can easily catch up with the latest information as they are available on the spot, and from the spot they can make their own videos, audios using their own telephones, smart telephones, and then they can file the story immediately. This fastness is a great important factor for the digital journalism. And here also the interaction between writer and consumer is new. In traditional media there is no interaction available. Here interaction is possible. So therefore these are the main advantages. There are one or two disadvantages, and important disadvantage is that how to check the accuracy of this story. Somebody has filed a story, that story may have not all the facts. It may be a biased story. Therefore, that is the biggest disadvantage in digital journalism. I think this analysis of advantage and disadvantage will give you an idea that how good digital journalism is, how is advantages and what are the disadvantages. It is up to you to decide digital journalism to be used more and more or less, but I would say ultimately it provides creativity which is not available through other media. Thank you.
With this note, thank you sir, thank you so very much. And dear friends, if you want to give your feedback for this particular lecture, then you can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. We would be meeting again soon and would be discussing on another topic. Till then, take care, goodbye. Thank you sir, thank you so very much again.